At Threshold, we're often asked to support clients in fostering psychological safety. Welcome to this latest series of How to Work with Humans. At Threshold, we train business leaders in the art of getting the best out of human beings. And here we explore the standout topics from our recent sessions and the science behind them. The evidence is clear. Psychologically safe environments are more engaging and more motivating for those working within them. They produce better decisions and more effective problem solving. On the flip side, the failure to engender psychological safety can come at an immense cost. And to a large extent, psychological safety comes down to the style of the leader. Imagine if we could peer into the minds of our people to understand what's going on for them when they're not feeling psychologically safe. Well, thanks to Gregory Burns, Professor of Psychology at Emory University and author of The Self-Delusion, we are now able to do that. But first, a detour into why psychological safety is so important. In 2003, the Space Shuttle Colombia exploded on re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, resulting in the death of all 7 crew members. The tragedy was caused by a small piece of the insulating foam from the shuttle's tank breaking off during the launch and striking the protective tiles which are there to insulate the shuttle from the extreme heat that's created as the shuttle returns to Earth. The foam striking the shuttle's outer casing was caught on camera during the launch, but the images weren't clear enough for anyone to be sure just how much damage had been done. In his book, The Wisdom of Crowds, James Cervieci delves into what happened at the teleconference led by the mission management team. Now, this was a full 6 days after the launch, and of course after the foam incident, and the first time that the team had met since then. Had the mission management team acted with urgency and prioritized the foam strike, it's not guaranteed that the lives of crew members would have been saved, but they certainly would have had a far better chance. The matter of the foam strike wasn't raised until 2/3 of the way into the call, and crucially, the importance was dismissed. Most damaging was the response of Linda Ham, the team leader. When the issue was raised, she replied, "I really don't think there's much we can do about it, so it's not really a factor during the flight." What matters here is not just whether or not she makes the right call, but that she's the team leader. In her response, she signals to the team that she has little or no time for differences of opinion. As Cervieci puts it, Ham, in other words, had already decided that the foam strike was inconsequential. More importantly, she also decided that for everyone else in the meeting. Nobody spoke out or disagreed with her. The work of neuroscientist Gregory Burns sheds light on what typically happens in this situation. Using EEG scanners, Burns explores what happens in our brains when we go against the opinion of an authority figure. Now, in Burns' experiment, the authority figure he uses is a financial expert. Subjects had their brains wired up to the scanners while making financial decisions. They were given advice by the expert before making financial decisions with their own money. Now, many times it was sage advice, but on occasion the advice could clearly be seen to be wrong. So what did the subjects choose to do when they could see the advice of the expert was wrong? Some people just go along with the advice either way. But for some people, when they can see that it's wrong, they do choose to go against the expert. And what's interesting is what happens in the brains of those people when they choose to go against the expert or authority figure. The scans show significantly increased activity in the amygdala. This means that we are experiencing increased arousal or a stress response. Now, in an evolutionary sense, we have an innate tendency to go along with the authority figure. This preserves our emotional energy and it reduces stress. And this is because challenging or questioning upwards triggers a stress response. As a leader, you are the authority figure. Your job as a leader is to ensure people have a minimized stress response when they disagree with you. That's what we mean by psychological safety. So when you're next leading a meeting, ask yourself whether a minority viewpoint has been raised and given adequate respect and airtime. And if it hasn't, then ask for it and genuinely listen. Remember, it's not about whether you agree with it, it's about whether you encourage it and acknowledge it as valid. That's psychological safety. It creates engagement, involvement, creativity, and of course, it prevents bad decisions. To find out more about Threshold and how we can help leaders in your organization to get the best out of human beings, go to threshold.co.uk. You can watch the rest of our How to Work with Humans series on our channel. Do share and subscribe.